Merry Christmas, attackers! It is time for Insane Mike's 1 Minute Top 10 List Holiday Special! What makes this the holiday special? Well, 1, it's the week of Christmas. 2, it's Christmas themed top 10 list. 3, honestly, it's going to be longer than a normal top 10 list. And 4, this is from the heart. This is going to be a really feely one, top 10 list here. Not as much joking around as I usually do in top 10 lists. So, the top 10 list is the top 10 presents I got from my mother and father when I was a kid on Christmas. Now, this is the stuff I still have. Unfortunately, I don't have nearly as much as I wish I still had from my childhood of toys and whatnot. So this is just the pre-existing stuff that I still have held on to all these years, getting Christmas presents from my mother and father. And I probably go in a little bit more in depth because these are all very personal items and things that I love. So that's why it's going to be a bit longer. So let's get into it. Number 10. My Lenny and the Squigtones record. This record is hilarious. I've always really loved this record. I used to sing and dance to it and pretend I was part of Lenny and the Squigtones. And my copy, this is my original copy. It's beat to crap. It's it's got tons of scratches on it. The LP itself looks like garbage. But the thing is this thing was really funny. And it almost feels like it was a precursor to Spinal Tap. Maybe I'll do a video on it specifically one day. Because I got a lot to go through and we're already at almost 2 minutes. I did find here in the past year a much better quality copy of the record that I have now in my collection that I can actually listen to without it skipping all the time. And this version still has the original poster that came with it too, that I had hanging on my wall. So that's a topic for another day. Let's get on with the list. Number 9, my Superpowers figures. I love the Superpowers line, being a DC Comics fan, but these action figures were just really cool because they had action to them. I only brought a few of them. I used to have a ton of them. I still have a decent amount of them, but not nearly as much as I used to. Always looking for more to get the full collection. But these are 3 out of maybe 6 or 7 that I still have of my original Superpowers figures. Number 7, my oldest living toy in my collection that I still have from when I was a kid. I got this in the freaking 70s, Sucker Man. Still in amazing shape. He is hung in the shower of every shower I've had in my adult life. And it still hangs in my shower today. I love Sucker Man. Number 6, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes on VHS. I love this movie. We rented it all the time. I wanted a copy. I begged and begged and begged. And this was during the time when VHSs cost you $50 to $100. So this was a big deal when I got it. And speaking of VHS, number 5 is my Complete Al VHS, which I still have. Being a huge Weird Al fan, this was another one that I begged and begged and begged for. I can remember the specific Christmas. I can remember watching it for the first time. I can remember unwrapping it. This was a huge deal. You'd think it'd be higher up on the list, but to be honest, it was really hard to figure out where these go on the list. So to honestly say one is more important than the other on this list, it's not. The fact that I still have these 10 items means that they're all super important. So, number 4, the Authorized Al book. Pretty sure, I know I got it the same year as I got the VHS. I took this thing to school with me all the time. My copy is pretty beat up. There's a lot of wear and tear on the spine. Luckily, none of the pages have fallen out, but this book is freaking awesome. I always loved this book. Number 3, Horrible Horrors on VHS. I know I've talked about this on the show a lot. I love this tape. It's a compilation of clips and trailers and whatnots from old movies, a lot of B movies, a lot of Z-grade movies, a lot of movies that I was introduced to because of this tape. Movies by Ed Wood, seeing clips of Spider Baby for the first time, Alligator People, all kinds of great stuff. And this was also my first introduction to Zachary. I loved this tape. So whenever I watch this, and I have it on DVD now, so whenever I watch this, to be honest with you, it always brings back memories of Christmas, because I remember the year I got this, I watched this over and over and over again. It was on the Good Times label, so really cheap label that just, and when we first got our VCR, and I think we got that VCR for Christmas, and my mom and dad wanted to make sure we had some tapes to watch. So, they dug through like the cheapy like $2 or $3 bin and grabbed like 4 or 5 tapes of just like horrible transfers on VHS of like a lot of public domain stuff like Topper Returns, the original Little Shop of Horrors. But this was in that too, and I freaking loved it. So this was like the best out of all of those tapes that they got. Where are we? Number 2. Now here's where things get a little bit more emotional. This is a little bit of a cheat because I technically was an adult when I got this, and I only got it from my father because my mother had passed away by then. And this actually, I believe, was the very last Christmas present I received from my father before he passed away. So for years leading up to this, oh man, it's in rough shape. It's getting old. Leading up to this, I had always, my dad, I would always make a Christmas list of things I wanted for Christmas. And for years, I always put that I wanted a video camera for Christmas. Every year I put video camera. And so one Christmas, the last Christmas with my father, I didn't put it on the list. And he's like, so he approaches me one day and is like, how come you didn't put camera on the list? And I'm like, it's kind of just become a joke. It's like my little joke answer on my Christmas list because I'll know I won't get it. And that's fine. And someday I'll get one of my own. I mean, I'm an adult now, blah, blah, blah. Little did I know that he had already planned on buying all of his kids a camera for Christmas. We each got, and I've got four sisters. So 5 kids. He bought this like RCA camera. It takes like these like 8mm videotapes. Got each of us one of these. So opening this, my mind was blown, and we joked about it for weeks and weeks after that about how like, oh sure, the one year I don't ask for a camera. I want to share with you a card that was included with all of our cameras, me and my sisters. Little Christmas card, and the Christmas card says, "May unexpected surprises make your holiday season fun and memorable. Happy holidays." And my dad wrote this, and you could probably understand where my comedy comes from. Special operating instructions. Do not aim this product in the direction of Santa Claus. It may cause failure of future payments of said installments, which could result in repossession of this item. The management. Merry Christmas. Love, Dad. So, still have the card from this. I actually had found it recently, which gave me the idea to do this top 10 list. So yeah. So that was number 2. And number 1 on the list is just the time spent with my mom and dad while I had my mom and dad at Christmas. Christmas has always been super special to me growing up. It's some of my fondest memories of, again, having 4 sisters and 4 older sisters. So growing up, I grew up with a house full at Christmas of not only my sisters, but their significant others and their children, all my nieces and nephews. House was full of Christmas and love during the holidays, and a lot of madness and a lot of humor, a lot of laughing, a lot of card playing. My family's always been big into playing cards, playing games in general. So just those memories are so much more important to me than any of the presents. And as through the years, I lost the majority of the presents that I've gotten over the years, except for some of the select few that you've seen here. Those memories with my family will be with me forever. And my memories of my mother and father, as it's been many, many years now since I've gotten to be with my mother and father and talk to my mother and father. and spend Christmas with my mother and father, I will always have those memories. So I'm gonna wrap it up. That's it. It's a long one. I know it's not a typical top 10 list, but I thought I'd share a little something from my heart as my holiday present to you guys. Maybe learn a little bit more about me. But thank you for being a supporter of the show. And I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And we will talk to you on the next episode of Attack of the Killer Podcast. We'll see you later. Merry Christmas.